You have evolved, and the way you travel must too. The deeper truth is that as we are consciously awakening to our truth, to a more balanced, embodied lifestyle, as we practice more yoga, we learn to eat in a very embodied and intuitive way, where we begin to create relationships that are nourishing. The way we travel needs to evolve together with us. Welcome. My name is Maja Michalewska, and I am transformational coach, certified somatic therapist, and I guide people like you to the path of embodied living through mentorships and retreats. So, think of this modern way of traveling where we rush through airports and take some selfies on a yoga retreat, basically to return home to a full inbox and the same overwhelmed mindset. And it's not to make ourselves feel guilty about it, but rather to reflect that there is another way to travel. In today's video, I will be covering three topics. First of all, what is the problem with modern way of traveling and how it actually hinders your growth as modern conscious woman. I will introduce the new paradigm of travel that is travel to remember. And lastly, how Earth herself is your co-guide in this new way of traveling. Make yourself comfortable and let's begin this journey into travel as remembering. Most ways of traveling are still focused on escape. This is how our modern society and the consumptionism that we are used to works, right? You are running yourself to exhaustion, just as the hamster on the hamster wheel. And then, because money usually is not an issue for you, you look for a getaway, something to get you away from your everyday. And that is something that I find interesting because if we crave embodiment, if we crave to be more alive as modern women and create the reality that actually engages us in every single moment of life, there is something wrong about this way of moving around the world. And when we visit beautiful places, once we escape, once we get there, it's very easy to forget to actually commune with the space, commune with the land, commune with the energetics of the space, because it becomes more about making sure that we see something. And when I work with embodiment, I often talk about senses. And if this is new to you, I will introduce you this Senses 101 crash course right now. So through our senses, including our sight, our hearing, our taste, our touch, our smell, we engage with the reality. And probably if you practice yoga, you know it from yoga. We use the senses to co-regulate our relationship with the world outside of us, but also to regulate our inner world. So one way to understand the difference between this escapism that we practice nowadays in traveling is that we only focus on getting something, experience something on a very intense way, rather than make sure that the experience is a whole embodied experience. So, for example, if we only focus on making sure that we check all the points we want to see and we take pictures, we're engaging only the sense of sight. If we focus on a foodie getaway, right? We go to Rome because we love Italian food. There's nothing wrong with that. But if this is the simplest and only focus for our trip, we skip the rest of the senses. So it is so important to think of travel as a whole body, all senses engaged journey. And that is only possible when we commune with the land, when we commune with the space we are in. That means we allow the whole body experience to be present. And for that, we need to, of course, slow down. But more about it in a moment. And lastly, let's think about sustainability because I'm sure you care about the state of our planet. You are quite aware that climate change is a threat and it's affecting us. And you probably sense that you can do something about it by choosing eco hotels, maybe going somewhere that provides already applied sustainable solutions. But what is missed in the current way that sustainability works, and that's something that I have realized because I worked in the field of sustainability for many years as a researcher. And one important aspect that is completely bypassed is the spiritual aspect, the energetic stewardship of the places we're going to. So it's exactly the same when we focus on sustainable lifestyle. This is not truly a sustainable lifestyle unless it is fully embodied. So it brings also our energetic, our soul aspect to it. And the same with travel. When we go somewhere and we focus only on the sustainable aspects that the place covers or the place provides, but not engage with the energetics of the place, then it is yet another way of escapism in the traveling. So, our souls are actually at this level craving something that brings us home to ourselves, not just another escape and then returning to the messy reality that we left behind. And what is a new paradigm when it comes to travel? So, first of all, you can check my previous episode when I spoke about unlocking 3 shifts that make every trip transformational. You are welcome to re listen to it and see how to adjust every travel that you're on to be more transformative. But today I want to go a little bit deeper and share with you what is this new paradigm of travel. And that is travel to remember. And when we think about living our life more embodied, more present, more attuned to our feminine nature, where we actually respect the rhythm of our body, when we respect the rhythm of who we are and what we bring with those qualities to life, the same comes to travel. We can travel in a feminine way. And one of the first shifts in this new paradigm of travel is that we travel to connect deeper to ourselves. And we can only do it when we slow down and we listen. We listen both to ourselves, but we also listen and attune the senses, as I mentioned, to the environment we're in. All the senses. And what it makes possible for us then is that the downloads, the experience that actually awaits every single one of us in a certain place, it's very unique and very different. What I often like to say is that your mind body organism, according to Ayurveda medicine and all the different ancient ways of looking at us as humans, shows that we are very unique. There is no other mind body on this earth walking right now that is similar to you. We are very, very unique. It's not only because we're made of different elements and have a different blueprint, but also your life experience so far have made you very, very unique. So you are arriving to this place, this energetic place, and this unique spot on earth that also holds its own energy, its own experience that was happening so far until you arrived there. And when we slow down and we start tuning into that land, there is something awaiting us. So, this is something about listening deeply, and it only can be achieved when we really, really go there and slow down. And that is something that can be hard at the beginning when done on alone by yourself. It's because if we live our current modern lifestyle in the way we do, it's hard to actually be in stillness. So this issue can also show up in travel. That's why I highly recommend to first engage on this type of transformative sacred journeys with a group, with a guide, because then you can learn those very simple and profound shifts that you can apply to your travel over and over again. But in order to apply them, there needs to be an experience for you to understand that, first of all, how it's done and that it is safe for you and it's beneficial for you. And it's only possible to be repeated when you experience it, right? So, when you go into a place, into a spot on earth, um, that can actually become a mirror of who you are becoming. So, once again, it's like you come with your story to a place that holds keys, holds some important messages for you that can be unlocked when you are in stillness, when you are in this receptive feminine mode. Let me just talk a little bit about, a bit more about how Earth and those places that you travel to become your co-guides. Um, there are certain spots on Earth that are energetically charged, that are energetic hotspots. One reason for that is that there are telluric currents, so Earth currents that create a charge, and when they mix with each other or cross each other, there is a very specific charge that activates something in us because we are also energetic bodies. We are energetic beings, right? We produce electricity in ourselves. So it literally affects us and shifts things in us. But also because many places, sacred places, have been visited, have been pilgrimaged for hundred thousands of years in many cases, or are chosen to be places of reverence, of worship, of transformation, they are really potent places for you to activate your intuition and your clarity. And that is when you tune more into yourself, when you tune in more into what is that you're coming with to that place with open heart, open mind, but also with this idea that I am here to really receive guidance. Those places, because of their nature, can be your guides, can be this co-creator of your travel experience. And it's not about chasing those sacred sites and say, oh, within 1 year, I have been to Egypt, I have been to UK, I have been to Italy. It is more about quality over quantity. And that's something that I really want to stress. There is no hustle when it comes to sacred traveling. And this travel to remember, it's something that for a lot of conscious women that are now stepping into new level of self-actualization and awakening, really calls us because it shows us that we can become one with the earth again. And in the movement of sustainability regeneration, this is so crucial when we learn that our body, not only the physical body, is dependent on the planet and Earth herself, but actually on energetic, spiritual level as well. This creates a deep sense of belonging, safety, and there is a sense of regulation of your nervous system. And I don't want to sound too scientifically here, but one of the key aspects to regulate our nervous system is to ground. So, if you are overwhelmed, if you experience anxiety, if you experience fearful thoughts, if you wake up in the middle of the night, if you feel tension in your chest, if your digestion is this in disorder, those are just signs that it's time for you to ground and belong more to the sense of I am on this earth, all is good, because usually that's the case. But it's often the nervous system that is literally fried, that causes you to feel that you are not safe. So, this travel to remember also brings you to remember that you belong here on planet Earth as an individual, very unique being, but also that you are one energetically with the Earth. And for example, when I traveled to Glastonbury in the UK, where you can really experience this place where people come to slow down and listen, and that has been down for 100,000 of years, if not more, because of the extraordinary aspect of this place still being, let's say, in reverence in our modern times, you kind of tap into this collective field of silence, of listening, tuning in into messages. So you can sense when you go there that time literally dissolves and there is this inner wisdom that awakens in you. And once you come back from such a travel, right? When I return from Glastonbury, I feel very grounded and I clearly receive the guidance what's next for me. And very often it is just to reassure me that I'm on the right path. So, travel to remember also brings you to remember that you are on this human journey experience. And yes, it is messy sometimes, it gets scary, but it is worth to come back to yourself. It is worth to really listen to yourself. And I believe that those ways of travel that are here to make you remember are actually making you much more courageous and awaken you to your next evolutionary steps. So, when we bring the sacred messages home from our sacred new way of traveling, there is a moment of integration, right? And the real journey itself, it's not the trip somewhere. Actually, it happens when you root it into your everyday life. That is when the embodiment happens. That's when the transformation takes place. So the breakthrough itself can happen when you go somewhere. It is the same as in a coaching process. There can be a session that is a breakthrough. You uncover something like a limiting belief, you realize about it, and then there is the path of actually transforming because you're becoming somebody else in the next steps. And the same happens in a sacred travel. You come home, and that's when you're beginning to root those messages, learnings into your everyday. And one thing that's a benefit that comes with traveling to remember is that you stop craving so much uh, travels that are just a next escape. And your life just becomes to feel more like a continuation of becoming. And you are called sometimes to go somewhere, and then you simply go somewhere with this intention and this transformation that awaits you, this breakthrough that awaits you, and you just return home and you continue your evolution, and you become more present to everything that happens to you, and you welcome that because you know it's safe, because you have been guided into that experience. So, sacred travel really doesn't end when you land home. It just begins to live through you as you come back to your everyday human existence. So, if something in your heart says, yes, oh my God, I would love to discover more about sacred traveling, a different way of traveling, I am warmly inviting you to my upcoming free masterclass that is titled Sacred Sites Revealed, a new way for women ready to travel differently, unlock their inner wisdom, and discover their next evolutionary step. I will be sharing three powerful spots in Europe that I uh, deeply see as key spots for modern women to awaken and to deepen their embodied way of living that I personally travel to. I will be also initiating you during this masterclass to prepare for your next journey. And I will be sharing much more during this masterclass about my next retreat that I'm organizing for people like you who really want to connect to sacred travel that transforms and takes you away from everyday overwhelm to alignment. And that will happen on this retreat that takes place on the Mallorca island in November. Through exactly this process of going somewhere that has a potent energy, but also through inner work, finding your own rhythm, finding your alignment, and really tuning into finding this resonant routine that nourishes you over the winter months as a woman. So you start integrating the messages from that journey that can really transform your everyday life. And Mallorca Island is a very, very special hotspot energetically for us women because it holds feminine codes. It holds this feminine energy, and there are spots on the island, not the most common touristic places that you can think of, but very secret places that I have been initiated into from my teachers. And I'm happy to now guide others to those spots. And the beauty about sacred travel is that when you go with a group, you can be sure that you are guided to the right places, and also you are being held by a bigger field. And I can tell you that because the sacred travel requires this going inward, connecting to oneself, when you're in a group, it is much easier because the energetic field is stronger. You can share your experiences, you can receive guidance. And I am really dedicating this retreat to modern women that feel really overwhelmed because the world is spinning up and being faster and required more of us, and return to the alignment, because only from this alignment inner rhythm we can start transforming our lives and lives of people around us. And I know that if you're listening to me, it's because you are on a mission and you are here to leave impact. And part of that is to start living life that is truly embodied, and that is a life that feels really exciting to you. And when you feel overwhelmed, when you just see your to-do list and never-ending emails in your inbox, or you stress about some aspects of your life that feel unfulfilled, then it's hard to be embodied and be grateful for the life you're having. So making this shift and coming back to yourself through this sacred experience from this container, 7-day container, can really be a breakthrough experience for you and many other women that join this retreat. So I hope to see you tomorrow in the masterclass. If this topic of sacred travel awoken your interest and you want to learn more and you want to meet me live in a group, ask questions, share your experiences, learn more about the Mallorca retreat, please join us. We're meeting tomorrow, the 30th of July at 5 p.m. Central European Time on Zoom. The link to join the masterclass is below. And I really hope that you are called to transform the way you travel. And because you are evolving, your travel must too. And now you know what to do. You are not alone in this. We are walking this path together. I am honored that you have listened to me. Please share with me in the comments what are your takeaways from this video. And I wish you a beautiful rest of the time. And we see and hear each other very soon. Much love.